Good morning. Hello, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to share some guidance and pull some cards for this week ahead. That's this week starting Monday the 20th of September through till Sunday the 26th of September 2021. So I trust this message finds you well. Before I start, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. If you're new to watching, welcome. Please let us know if you're new so we can welcome you. What I'll be doing today is I'm going to use my cards. These are my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards that are combined with my Speed of Light Oracle, and I'll be using this combined deck to look for the best cards for this week ahead. I'm not pulling cards for individuals, but I'm going to lay the cards out and look for or hold the intention to find the best guidance that the majority of us need at this time and for this week. I trust you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you and resonates with you at this time and moving forward this week. Think of everything that I share as a guide only, and just take on board what feels right, what resonates, and what does fit into your life easily, and let the rest go. The things that feel like I'm speaking directly to you, you can trust those things. So let's do a quick shout out in the comments and then we'll get started. So good morning, Donna and Margarita. Good morning. Hello, Chantel and Teresa. Shelley is here and Shelley shared. Thanks so much, Shelley. And I see George is here too. Hi, George. So welcome, everybody. So let's shuffle the cards. And while I'm shuffling, let's just recap on last week. Last week's theme card was the giraffe. And the giraffe reminded us to keep aware of our perspective. And that has been quite strong last week, let's say. So with things being blown out of proportion for you in some ways, did you overreact in some situations? Did you take some things too personally? That was the sort of energy around last week in general. So the giraffe certainly seemed on point from where I have stood in this space. So how did it go for you? So let's focus on our new week now. It is Monday the 20th here. I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia. So it's Monday the 20th and it's exactly 11:12 a.m. I just missed 11:11, but it's 11:12. And so let's ask the cards now. I want the best cards that the majority of us need for this week ahead, starting Monday the 20th of September through till Sunday the 26th of September 2021. What do we need to know for this week? What are the general energies? What do we need to know for our highest truth, the majority of us, and so forth. So the best cards for this week for the majority of us are these. And I'm going to lay them out here on my bench. And I'm laying them face down. So just bear with me a second. Okay. So we have, what do we have? We've got 6 Animal Kingdom, 3 Speed of Light. Let's turn these guys over and see what we've got. Okay. Okay, no featured cards, no dragons. Just for those of you who watch regularly. Good morning, everybody. Okay, let's start. Up the top here, we have the rabbit. The rabbit's coming through for Monday and very early in the week. In fact, it feels like getting off the starting line, if you like. So very early in the week, probably even the first part of Monday feels to be when this card is likely to be in effect. And it's card 16, the rabbit. And the rabbit says to make your move. So make your move. This is very much about taking action, making our move. But the funny thing with the rabbit, I guess it's not so funny for the rabbit, is that it's kind of, you know, it makes its move even though it feels petrified. Like I feel like, and especially with this drawing, that the rabbit sort of is paralyzed by fear. And there might be something that we're sort of feeling a bit paralyzed by, or maybe even uncertain about, and we're not really clear about the move that we need to make next. So we're sort of sitting in that sort of, it feels like a stagnant and maybe a little bit of a petrified sort of space before we're ready to make our move. So what I'm feeling from the rabbit is, even if we feel a bit petrified, a bit scared, or even a little uncertain, we may still need to make a commitment or make a move of some sort. It could be to make a phone call or talk to an expert, or get the ball rolling with something, put a date in, or, you know, something like this, just to get things started. So that feels to be important, even if we might feel a bit uncertain about, is it the right time yet? How am I going to do this? All these sorts of things. We could stop on things if we thought that way on anything. So there feels to be that energy around, but how can we make our move? So this is very much an action card. How can we make that move? And then that's going to push us into a new direction. So we have this card also coming up for Monday, but it feels like it's later in Monday, and it also overflows into Tuesday. And this is the Stag, and it's card 42. And the Stag says a new direction. So as we find the courage to make our move, or to get the ball rolling through the rabbit's energy, especially early Monday, then there is this energy opening up, because the Stag here talks about, or shows to us, a new pathway, a new direction that we're being called into, that we're being called onto. So I'm seeing with the rabbit, like the rabbits out on the field, and they sort of are petrified and just sort of stay still as one of their survival sort of tactics, or they bolt as one of their survival tactics. But I'm seeing the rabbit sort of sitting in the field, sort of paralyzed, frozen, waiting for the danger to pass, and then making its move. And as the rabbit makes its move, as that energy moves forward, it seems to actually put us onto the path connecting with this Stag, and it's almost like the rabbit shapeshifts into the Stag here, and the Stag feels like it's quite sensible and serious, but also very stable, very practical in its ability to move and its ability to walk down its path. So we've been encouraged to connect in with that sort of energy too, is that once we move past that initial sort of fear or that uncertainty, and we make that move, we make that phone call, we get the ball rolling, there feels to be something more stabilising that's coming through potentially for us, especially around Tuesday, the later in Monday and into Tuesday. So that's the Stag. Then also, so we're looking now also at Tuesday, so Tuesday the 21st of September, and this feels like it's for the day of Tuesday for the most part, and it's card 22, the Lotus Heart. The Lotus Heart says Om mantra, meditate, reconnect, and peace. So what feels to be really important, especially early in the week and Tuesday, is finding a sense of peace in our heart. Now this card did come up last week, so a lot of us, I feel, have been considering or thinking about or feeling upon how can we find peace of mind, how can we find peace of heart with certain things in our life that may be a little discordant or at conflict, or we're just confused by. So how can we find peace with this? There is a feeling here of getting back to basics, a feeling of simplifying things that may have become just too complicated or blown out of proportion. So that complex energy can sometimes be very unsettling to sit in. So with this card, it seems to be sort of weeding the garden, so that we can actually see, the flowers or the seeds that we've planted that are growing. So, what do we need to weed out? What's become too overgrown or too complicated, and it just feels messy and like it's been blown out of proportion. So we may need to get some perspective, but I feel like the main message here is what brings us peace of mind, and what brings us peace in our heart, peace of heart. So that's the Lotus Heart. Meditation may also be helpful and supportive, and also chanting or singing or whatever it is that you like to do to help you reconnect with your beautiful heart. Okay, so that's the first couple of days. So yeah, okay, let's move into Wednesday. Wednesday over here. So Wednesday, the 22nd of September, and we have the cheetah, card 4, and the cheetah says to focus on your strengths. So the things that you're strong at, we could say the things that you're good at or that you're skilled in are things that we've been really encouraged to focus on, especially around Wednesday. So on the opposite sort of side of that, we need to probably be a bit aware or try our best not to focus too much on the things that we sort of see as weak or different or not sort of normal, the things that sort of hold us down, hold us back, or sort of lock us away in some ways. So how can we focus on our strengths? And got the mailman. Okay, he's gone. He's taken someone's little cat. So taken someone's little cat parcel for delivery. So I didn't want to be talking and him thinking that someone behind the door was talking to him. So that's all good. So we've been encouraged to really focus on the things that are strong for us, especially around midweek. So what is strong for you? What are your good qualities? What are your assets, we could say? What are the things that set you apart from other people? What are the things that you may deem as weird and bizarre and strange about you? They're actually parts or qualities about you that make you stand out as an individual, and these are good things. So I feel like focusing on these things and maybe looking at them as strengths rather than at them as weaknesses, it feels to be really important. So can you see your little quirky parts of you as a strength, as a really good thing? Because this feels like it feels like it's about boosting our confidence in ourselves as well and our self-belief. So focusing on those strong parts into Wednesday or throughout Wednesday. Then we move into Thursday. So what is it, the 23rd? Thursday the 23rd. And we have the gorilla. So the gorilla is card 9, and the gorilla reminds us to do the right thing. So this is a truth card, doing what is right in a situation. Sometimes what is right is what we need to do that's right by others. You know, what is the right thing to do in this situation is probably something some of us will be asking. Also on Thursday, this is about being fixed, stubborn in some ways. This is like being fixed like the mountain rather than movable like a car, let's say. So there is a fixed feeling here. We may find that we need to stand our ground with something, perhaps especially with something that we need to do that's the right thing, or something that's aligned with our truth or the truth of the situation. You know, what is fair and just here, and how can we sort of keep other people that may be involved too, how can we keep those people in mind and make sure we do what is fair and just and right in this particular situation. We may find though that we do have to stand our ground, and we may need to be stubborn in some ways so that we don't cave into the pressures or the demands or the sort of group think that may be happening around us. So that's on Thursday. It feels very serious. And, you know, being seriously stubborn might be important for some of us. Okay, Friday we have the bear. Pretty sure the bear came up last week. The bear is card 43, and it says to move out of the rut. Move out of the rut. This has been coming up quite a lot for people lately, just with the work that I've been doing and the things I've been observing and the things I've been talking with people about. Are a lot of people are tending at the moment to feel very stuck and stagnant and feeling like they're in a bit of a rut. So this energy, especially around Friday, shows that there is potential, and there is very big potential right now to move out of these rut, stagnant places. The energy is really fiercely moving and very fast and very active right now. There is a lot of sort of winds of change sort of coming in as well. So this is a very favourable time to get out of the cave and move with the winds and move with the tide, move with the current, move with the river, and move with the energy that's there. So we need to probably be a bit self-aware that we're not holding ourselves back or avoiding how we feel and how we really feel about something. Because what I've tended to notice with feeling in a rut or stagnant or stuck is that we're not listening to how we feel, because feelings, emotions want to be in motion. So when we can feel our way through things and we move from one feeling to the next, which is what happens, you know, when we admit to ourselves that, even if we admit that we're stuck, it tends to move energy. If we admit to ourselves we're feeling angry or frustrated or overwhelmed, that in itself, just by acknowledging that feeling, gets that feeling moving into something else too. So we have to also be careful that we're not holding ourselves in the same feeling. And this is especially appropriate for things like grief, because it can be very difficult for us, depending on where we're at with that grief, to let ourselves move past that heightened emotional space. So if we're holding ourselves in an emotion that we're not giving ourselves permission to move on from, or move through, is probably a better way to describe it, or if we're not letting ourselves feel and we're avoiding a feeling or avoiding a situation, that will typically have us feeling stuck and stagnant. So the energy for Friday is very much this push, and it is more of a push because last week it was more of a peek. Last week it was a peek out of the cave. Is it safe out here? And then we decided, and then we moved out of the cave and into the big wide world. It's a little different this week. So if we didn't take the peak energy, if we're still feeling stuck and stagnant because we didn't work with the energy last week, or something shifted and we're feeling stuck with something, then there is a push feeling that's coming in for Friday, where some of us may feel like we're being pushed out of it. We may be pushed out of our comfort zone, pushed into our wounds for healing, pushed into our grief for healing. So let's not be afraid of our feelings, but think of them, I like to think of them as my friend, because they work well for me, even the ones that don't feel comfortable, because they show me where I might be lacking or what my issue is with something, so I can move on and move into a more comfortable, balanced space. So the bear moving out of the rut feels to be important, and it might be quite forceful. So what we could do is we could work with this energy beforehand. Even on Monday, you know, this energy of the rabbit, when I was talking about, you know, feeling fear or paralyzed or uncertain and we don't know which way to go, this is very similar to being sort of in that rut or in that cave where we're sort of not moving on something. So we might find, some of us, that if we can heed this energy and work with it, if it comes up for us, that it will actually help things move. And we might find that we sort of bypass this whole moving out of the rut thing because we've already done it earlier in the week. If we haven't done it and we continue to avoid it, then we might have something really push us. And it may be connected with the gorilla. It may be something that we're confronted by that occurs, that forces us in some ways out of that rut. So it's going to be up to us. If we could do it in advance, then it's going to be better for us. It's going to be easier to deal with than if it happens because we've been avoiding it for a long time. So I trust that makes sense. That's for Friday or later in the week. Now, the weekend, we have a row here of 3 cards. Let's talk about this one first. It's the Indigo. Actually, I changed the name of this, sorry. It's card 18, and I've called it now New Pathways. And it says options, children, birth, choice, and life's path. And I can thinking this came up last week too, or it came up very recently. So this is about new pathways, new options. So we've got the Stag, which I talked about earlier in the week, for Monday and into Tuesday. This is like one path, solid path, new direction. There's something very practical and stable and exciting, but calm, I guess. Calm, maybe not quite the right word, but it feels stable, this path that we walked on. And it's a single path that I feel with this card. But when we get to Saturday, and this may be connected, it may not be connected with that energy of the Stag, but this is about pathways. Yes, this did come up last week, because remember I talked about the crossroad, and it's not exactly a crossroad. It's like we've reached a point in our path where we have these options, like these roads or paths that are trailing out from the position that we stand. So there are options, there are opportunities potentially coming in early in the weekend for us to consider and work out, what do we want to do, which path do we want to take, you know, this sort of thing. So there are options, there are opportunities. There's a strong energy around children on the weekend, especially around Saturday. May even be from Friday, later on Friday into Saturday. but that childlike energy is also quite strong here. And then we move into also in the weekend. This feels about the middle of the weekend, so I sort of feel like midday Saturday into midday Sunday. And it's the Yogi, card 32. And it says Epiphany, learn, lead and comprehend. So this is the penny dropping on something, where we get something, whatever we've been confused about, or something we've been confused about, something we've been trying to nut out and contemplate and work out, you know, maybe why this happened, why I feel this way, what is this about? All these questions feel like something drops on these, the answer. That aha moment, now I finally get why I went through that, or why that had to happen for me, because of maybe something that we realise that we've learned, or something that we've gained to help us be a better person from an experience. So this penny dropping energy is really exciting, because it brings with it a new level of understanding, and a new level of knowledge, we could say, that's based on our experience. So we are growing and we're becoming, hopefully, wiser in ourselves, and wiser as we mature. That would be the ideal situation. And then later on the weekend, so we're looking at now Sunday, and we have the Elephant, card 7, and it says family commitment. So the elephant in this card deck highlights the energy of family. So we've got children energy around Saturday, we've got family energy potentially around on Sunday, and over the weekend in itself. And this commitment, or this connection with our family, our tribe, even friendship groups that we feel are like family, also count here. It's not necessarily just blood family, and for some it may not be blood family at all. So people that we consider family, this is where this is important. So we might find it very favourable over the weekend to connect with family, to connect with people that we feel connected with, that we feel a sense of connection with. So that may be very good for us. Also, the energy of the elephant feels very strong and very stable, very grounding in its energy as well. So that's also coming through. So there's quite strong energy around this week, and I feel that we can potentially work with it really well to help take us into a new sense of stability and certainty and clarity on our path. And moving out of a rut's always good. But yeah, it feels like good energy around this week. It's still very fast, and there's still a lot of things moving. And if we've been resisting, or if we're scared of change and we're scared of things, and things have been coming up for us, then it may not be that comfortable until we can face the music, if you like, so that we can move forward. So I trust this resonates, and thank you so much for watching. I am going to pull a card to go, a theme card, so I'll do that in a minute. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. If you would love to learn more about these card decks, Speed of Light Oracle cards, my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, which I've created and illustrated myself, you can learn more about them on my website, and you can learn more about all the things that I do at Temple of Balance at templeofbalance.com.au. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, let's look for the best card for the theme. So the theme card will help bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture for this whole week ahead. So what is the theme? What do we need to potentially keep in mind this week? So the best card for the theme for the majority of us for the 20th of September through to the 26th of September 2021 is this card. It's a Speed of Light Oracle, and it's this. It's card 53 called Gathering, and it says helping, ready, leader, meeting. So first of all, the strongest energy in this talks about gatherings and meetings. So this is, well, we're already talked about family energy potentially for the weekend for some of us, so that's certainly connected with this too. But there may also be other gatherings and meetings with at least one other person or more that are important this week. We'd be also encouraged this week to lead the way for ourselves. moving forward. We can't do that if we're in a rut. We can't do that if we're paralysed by fear, and we can't do it if we're feeling confused and things are just too complicated and heavy right now, or too stressful. It's very difficult to have the strength and the desire to lead the way for ourselves. So what I feel this week is a lot of baggage potentially being dropped that has kept us small and heavy and weak and held back, and also in that rut, sort of stagnant energy. So there's potential here for us to kind of gather our resources, gather our energy, gather our breath, gather our power, gather our clarity to move forward. That we are working out and we're preparing ourselves to lead the way forward for ourselves, to find a way to step up and step into our life. So we are ready for this. We are ready to step into the role as leader. We're also ready for any meeting that we might have this week, and it is very favourable for that. So if you have meetings or things that you've been thinking about organising, it might be really good to do that this week, because it feels very favourable for getting together with other people. So see how you go. You won't really know till you move through your week. So the best way to know is to have a great week. And I trust things that have come up support you as you move through your week. Please come back to the video as you progress to see how things are fitting and to get your bearings if you need to. And thank you so much. You can find this video on my pin to my Facebook page, Temple of Balance. You'll find it on my website at templeofbalance.com.au under the video tab. You'll also find it on my YouTube channel. That's Temple of Balance on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic week ahead. Happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating. And I will see you again very, very soon. Thank you so much. Namaste.